What's going on, guys? We have a 4-game NBA slate today. This video is going to be a bit different than some of my other videos that I posted before. This isn't going to be a traditional picks video where I just kind of quickly run through my top plays of the day. If you want my picks, you'll have to become a member of the VIP. There's a link in the description below. That gives you a 3-day free trial. Coming off a massive January, over $2,000 profit for myself. That's over 100 units. Really good month for us. Hopefully we can continue that into February, but that's how it went for the VIPs last month. If you want to become a VIP, you have the opportunity to do so. But this video is going to be more about strategy. I'm actually going to be walking you guys through how I find plays on a given slate. I'm going to turn my camera off here in a minute. This video is probably going to be pretty long. I haven't done any research at this point in the day. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, usually around the time when I start getting into my NBA plays for the day. So you're just going to see a full look on how I use Outlier to find winning sports betting picks. Not sure if this will be useful for everybody, but like I said, I'm going to take this time and just show you how I do things for each day. And I don't know if I'm going to find any good plays or not. I really don't care, but I am going to go through my process. If I find good plays, I'll mark them and everything. I'll share them here. But anyways, let's get into it. Let me turn off my camera here really quick. And all right. So 4 games today. Pelicans and Hornets at 3 o'clock. Rockets and Pacers at 7. T-Wolves, Grizzlies, and Sixers, Clippers later on. The first thing I do every day is I go to #basketball.com and I go to their advanced NBA schedule grid and I see who's on a back-to-back. So we'll go yesterday and then Monday. So the Clippers are the only team on a back-to-back today, so I'll keep that in my mind. Then I'll go to RotoWire. I'll refresh it because it's been a bit, but I like to see the injury reports. No major injuries here in the first game. Plumlee's still out. Second game, Durant is out and Van Vliet still. Toppin's still out for the Pacers. Minnesota, Memphis, Edwards is questionable, which kind of throws a wrinkle into everything. Memphis is a team that I just generally avoid this year because I never know what to do with their injury situations and their rotations and stuff, and that gets pretty complicated. Sixers, Paul George is out, so we might get some good plays here without Paul George and with Embiid in. And for the Clippers, Harden's questionable, second leg of a back-to-back. He was out for personal reasons yesterday. This does kind of impact everything in the game. So in situations like this, I take a wait-and-see approach. I'll look at plays with and without Harden, but I won't make any bets on it until I get some word. Same thing with Minnesota and Edwards, and Randall. Like, if they're questionable, I don't want to make a bet on an under or something for somebody and then have Edwards get ruled out and my under just be dead on first arrival. But let's head over to Outlier. Let's start doing our research for the plays. There might be some minutes here of silence, and apologies for that, but I'm doing my research. This is literally what I do every day. For my filters, I don't do anything crazy. Odds -130 to -110. Don't want any crazy odds plays in here. Books, Hard Rock, PrizePicks, Sleeper, Underdog. Props, I filter for mostly the main props. Assists, blocks, field goal attempts, points, rebounds, and assists, points and assists, points and rebounds. All the main stuff. The first half line, 3-pointers. Not a lot of obscure things, basically. And I sort by L10, but it doesn't matter too much to me what I sort by. On a short slate like this, I'll go game by game. So we'll start with the Pelicans and the Hornets. And honestly, I just click through the player cards. Literally all I do. So we'll look at LaMelo here on the year. They're home. So that fits today. He's gone under this number a lot. Games with player. Won the games with Brandon Miller and with Khan too, because they're two of the main guys. 9 out of 13. Don't love it. We'll just keep looking through. What about just points? Miller, Khan. Nothing great. I usually start on the top level, like PRA. It's one of the easier places to go. So Miller, Khan. 62% on the under, which is all right, but not enough for me to take. So doesn't really look like I'm liking anything on LaMelo Ball today. Miller, Khan, first half. Nothing. Yeah, nothing's really standing out for LaMelo Ball for me. Miller, Khan. Yeah, no. Nothing here for me to take on LaMelo, but this is literally how I do things. Like, I just go through player by player. Sometimes I skip around. I don't really just go every single player. I don't have time for that. But I go through the main guys first, like Khan here on the season. Home and away splits don't really matter for field goal attempts. So we'll go games with Miller and Ball. And 66, nothing. Points, I know he's better on the road, so I'm just not even going to go there for him. Rebounds and assists, maybe. Games with Miller, with Ball. It's all right. Nothing, not good enough for me, though. I just kind of keep going through. Zion rebounds here, home games. It's all right. Or away games. We'll go games with... We'll go Murphy. Doesn't make a difference. What about Missy? And nothing. Points is something I've been looking at for Zion with Murphy active. This might be something we're on. No, the line's up more. See, I was getting this at 19.5 the other day. Now it's up to 21.5. So, 19.5, we were getting it, what was that, 13 out of 16 games or whatever? 10 out of 17 at 21.5, it's just a skip for me. But we might be able to find it with, like, the first half points or the first quarter points or the full game PRA. Basically, you want to look at all the lines that, like, could make sense for it. With Murphy. No. We'll go PRA. With Murphy. See if any of the lines didn't adjust. Is what I'm trying to do. Points and rebounds. Go with Murphy. Nope. And I don't think there's points and assists. I doubt it's going to be it, but let's see. Trey Murphy. Yeah, no. Nothing on Zion, at least for the points aspect of it. And I just keep jumping around. So, like, I know I'll go to the Clippers one here, I think is where I want to go. Yeah, the Sixers. So we'll look at the Sixers here, which will probably give us a play, most likely. We'll go to Maxey. We'll go to his PRA. And we'll go games without Paul George, games with Joel Embiid. Where are you? Oh, he's up here. With Embiid. This season, all right, over 8 out of 9. Last season, 1 out of 1. Last 20 games, 9 out of 10. I like that. Averaging 44.4 PRA. You're getting 36.9. Didn't get there last game. Why didn't he get there last game? That's what I want to find out. 7 of 18 from the field. I mean, that tells the story right there. He didn't shoot well. 4 of 9 from 3, which is all right, but 7 of 18 from the field, not great. Didn't get to the line at all. He didn't get there on the points. That's why he didn't go over to PRA. I like this play on Maxey tonight, so this is an official play. I will be on this. I will write this up in the Discord server for the VIPs. But yeah, Maxey, PRA, so I'll play today. We can keep going, though. Like, I'm not going to just stop at the 1. I'll look at the first quarter. I'll look at the first half. I'll look at the airlines. Because, like, what if there's something better? I doubt it. You're probably not going to find anything better than the 9 out of 10. But you never know. You don't know until you look. So we'll go that. Stop George. 8 out of 10 on the first half PRA. Away games, 3 out of 3. Too small of a sample there, but like, I really don't have to go further on this. You got enough on Maxey here to know it's a good play. Filter for game without Paul George, without Joel Embiid. 9 out of 10. So you can go points and assists if you want to as well. That's fine. Averaging 40. Numbers 32.5. Whereas if you're looking at the other one, there's an 8-point difference on that. So here. About an 8-point difference here on this one too. So it doesn't make much of a difference either way. If I had to pick, I usually pick the one with more options because this gives them more avenues to get there. So that's why I like the PRA more than just the points and assists. But either's fine, to be honest with you. We could look at the Clippers. So Leonard, if I'm looking for a parlay filler, 19.5 points here. He's gone over this number in looks like about 30 straight games or so. So solid or it's actually 27 straight. So there he goes that on Leonard. Home games, just balling this year. Leonard at home has been something I've been on the entire season. Over in 15 out of 18 home games for Kawhi Leonard. If there's filter for games without James Harden, only 1 game. Last year, no game sample size, but great spot for Leonard at home if he plays. If we go back to RotoWire here, he is active, but it is the second leg of a back-to-back. I could look at back-to-backs for Leonard because, that is something I want to see. He's been all right. He only played 4 games on a back-to-back last 2 seasons or so. But I'm mainly just focusing on him being at home. Like, this has just been money for us this year. So I'm gonna go there. Leonard over PRA. But I will look at back-to-backs too. Like, I'll look at, um, I don't even know. Let's sort by PRA. Harden, he didn't play yesterday. I think he plays tonight, but you never know. Well, Zubac. We'll look at Zubac's back-to-back numbers. Back-to-backs, last 20. Well, actually, just look at this season because last year was a little bit different. Maybe not. Last year was probably similar for him. So we'll go games with Leonard on back-to-back. All right, he's gone over 6 out of 7 games last 2 seasons with Leonard. Second level back-to-back, averaging 37.7 PRA per game. That's 3 out of 4 this season. 24 as a floor. Solid play on Zubac. Pretty solid right there. How's he been getting there? Mostly on the points. Points, sometimes rebounds, basically getting a double-double. Then I'll go look at his like double-double line just because, he's been getting that lately. Minus 120. Okay, well, that's, it's an option here. Back-to-backs, 5 out of 7 on the back-to-backs. And we'll go games with Leonard. Not that it matters too much for his rebounds, but it could be a look. Zubac double-double could be a look tonight. So, like, this is kind of exactly how I do things. I don't know if you're getting anything out of this. If you are, let me know in the comments. And if you like this kind of stuff, I'll try to do more of this. And if you're curious how I like narrow these down to put them in my player cards, like my parlays and everything, no real rhyme or reason to it. I generally stick to 2 or 3 combos. So, 2-man combos, 3-man combos on PrizePicks and Underdog. I'll search between the websites which one has the better number. I try to avoid 2 players in the same team on the same slip. So, like, the Leonard and the Zubac I just talked about, I won't have them both together. I'll separate them out. We look at the Rockets here, but there's no Kevin Durant, and we don't have too much of a sample with that this year. Only a 2-game sample. So it's going to be tough to find something that you like for the Rockets without Durant because it's just such a small sample. So, like, I'll skip the Rockets here. The Pacers, they've been pretty difficult to get nailed this year. They just really haven't had a lot of really good spots for us. I was on Siakam first half PRA earlier in the year. Let's look at his over this games without Toppin. Not a lot. Then I'll filter for games like with the other starters, so like Mathurin. Neesmith, I think the starter, right? Yeah, Neesmith. I always get him mixed up. This just doesn't show me much. So I'm looking for something that's really going to stand out. He did score 20 points or more every time in this, but what's his line? 23.5. So, like, don't love it. Maybe you can go down to 17.5, but just not worth it. I jump around a lot. That's how my research process is. That's how it's always been. Just kind of flipping back and forth between RotoWire, Outlier, trying to find the top plays here. Like Memphis, you see all these injuries and stuff. They almost never have the same starting lineup. So, like, I usually just cross them off. There's some teams where I just don't even mess with. I don't even want to try to figure out. But like Minnesota, like with Edwards and Randall questionable, I don't want to waste my time until I know what's going on here. So I'll generally skip them, and if we get news later on, then I'll make a play on it maybe. But for now, I'll just skip. Like the Clippers, like I'm not gonna place an under on anybody with Harden questionable, but I will place an over. So like I will have Leonard, I will have Zubac. Something I want to look at too is John Collins because he's first half PRA was something that we've been on. The more you do this, like if you're doing it every day, you're just gonna start getting on these same plays over and over again. Games with Leonard this year at home. The number's too high now. I was getting this at like 9.5 for a bit, and it was just so much money. But now it's too high. But the more you do this, you're just gonna keep going back to the same plays over and over every day, which is fine because if they're gonna win for you, who cares, right? Let's look at Embiid without George with Maxey. We'll go last 2 seasons. Under 7 out of 10. Away games, just 3 games, went under every time, but that's not enough for me. I need more. Especially on a star player who can blow up on any game. I see he had 55 the other night. He had a 50 game recently. I need to see more. So, yeah, that was a kind of a quick rundown of my research process. Like I said, I don't know if you guys are going to get anything out of this. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know if you like this stuff, if you want me to do more things like this, or if you just never want me to do it again. I'm just trying to give you guys as much insight as possible on how I do things. Um, I guess I'll show you how I find parlay fillers really quickly. I'll turn off this filter for odds. I'll go just overs. I'll turn on the filter for alternate lines. And then I'll go to the books and just remove everything besides PrizePicks. I care about the PrizePicks Goblin lines. And then I sort by last 20. You see that's where that Leonard line comes in here. Over 19, 27 straight games or so. 18 straight at home this year. So solid play on a parlay filler on Leonard makes sense because I'm on his regular one too. The Sexton line's been nice to us this year. The Kalkbrenner line's also been nice on the alternate line. Not so much on the main line, but he plays just enough to where it's worthwhile for us. Like 19 out of 20, even with the limited minutes last few games, he's been getting there. So yeah, this is kind of how I do things. I focus at the top when it comes to parlay fillers. Still do my filters, but I don't go as deep as I need to on the regular lines because you're mainly just taking guys on these massive streaks. I wouldn't take any first quarter props on something like this. Too risky for me. Don't mind it on a regular line, but on a parlay filler, it's just super risky. They can get 2 fouls right away and just you're dead. But yeah, so that's how I find parlay fillers. That's how I find regular lines and everything. I save my filters. I always go back to them, so it gets me back to the ground zero each time. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see. If you want me to do it again, let me know. If you don't want me to do it again, also let me know. But gave you guys a couple plays for tonight. These will actually be on the VIPs too, some of them when I post it later. But best luck on your bets tonight if you do use my process. Hopefully it works out for you. You're not gonna win every day. Just throwing it out there. It's not going to be. You're not gonna get every play right. You're not gonna win every day. You'll aim for like 60% right on the individual plays, and you'll be happy. But obviously, you can make a lot of money doing it. Just you have to, there's losing days in here too. See, I was down $300 early in the month. Then I went up a bit, went back down, went up and a little bit down, then up, then a little down. You see, like you're gonna lose. That's gonna happen. So you just gotta get used to it. Just always move on to the next bet. But where am I at? I'm at 17 minutes now. I think it's long enough for you guys to get the point here. Best of luck on your bets tonight, and thanks for watching, everyone.